What's up? I'm DJ Spryte and welcome to my DJcities. On this episode, we're going to head on up north to Whitefish, Montana, home of Glacier National Park and Casey's nightclub. We're going to go over how I organize my music on a week-to-week basis for my travel gigs. Then we're going to head on back down to Los Angeles to the DJcity headquarters and talk to them about how a DJ can get noticed by a record pool. If you're making edits, bootlegs, remixes, how do you get noticed? We're going to find out, so keep it locked right here. I got a plane to catch. Peace. Finally made it to Whitefish and I have a couple hours to kill. Now before I go sightseeing, I want to talk to you guys about how I organize my files before a travel show. Now I haven't played up here in about a year and a half, so I definitely want to make some crates. One consolidated area with the files I'm most likely going to play, so I'm not searching through my laptop too much and I can focus more on putting on a good show. So let's check out my process now. Alright, so here we are in my Serato, and after I download my music from a record pool, out of my inbox, from a blog, I bring it in here and I sort everything into the respective genres right here in genre folders. So everything will get sorted into EDM, pop tracks, current hip hop. But as you can see, some of these folders get really, really large. I mean, some of these folders might have 4,000 files in them. So it's not really ideal for me to play straight out of these. So I make a second set of folders or crates here in Serato with a consolidated set of files, which is the stuff I'm most likely going to play out at a gig. And that's this gig template folder. So on a week-to-week basis, I usually copy this folder structure and everything in it, and I name it whatever that gig is so I can even further customize what I'm going to be playing that weekend. So I'm at Casey's Whitefish this weekend, so I'm going to copy this, rename this Whitefish, and now I can further customize this. Let's say I know that Casey's doesn't like a lot of house music. I can remove like the house edits and stuff, so it's just not cluttering up the files in these crates. But let's go through these folders from the top. So the first crate here is called Transition Mixes, and what these are is a set of little mixes I made. They're all about 6 to 10 minutes that I usually play in between the opener and my set. When these play, I'm getting set up and I'm checking to make sure all the stuff is technically working, and I can go into my set with confidence that the equipment is all good and I don't have to worry about that. So it's just a nice little pad of time for me to get set up before I actually play. These also work for bathroom break files, so if you're doing a long set, like 4 to 5 hours, you can throw one of these on, and I have them all split up into 75 BPM hip hop, 100. I got house, I got commercial up tempo. Whatever the opener was playing, you can easily mix off of them into one of these files. All right, the next folder down is acapella loops and tools. I don't use this as much in the club environment. It's more for my shows with Made Monster because we do 2x4 sets, but it's acapellas, scratch files. It's a lot of stuff I use to add flair over an instrumental or if I was playing with somebody else. So I don't use these as much in a club environment, but I still like to have them in this folder. All right, the next crate down is set open files. Now what these are is if I'm playing a larger venue, say in Las Vegas, and I want to do an imaged intro, DJ Spryte, hands up, boo, 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 boo.
DJ Spryte, aight?
These are those files. So I have them again, hip hop, house, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different flavors of intro here if I choose to use one. It just depends on the night. So those are there if I need them. Going down to the next folder, commercial house, this is kind of the meat and potatoes now of what I play. So I have this separated out. If I'm gonna go up tempo, these are the files and edits I'm most likely gonna play. This folder is a little small at the moment because a lot of the gigs I've been playing are more of a hip hop format, but if I go up tempo, these are the files I'm most likely gonna play and I have them all in one spot. So going down one folder, 65 to 115 edits. This is everything else. This is hip hop, this is reggaeton, this is pop music, this is everything in one folder. I can pretty much play out of this as is, or I can customize this down further or add tracks based on where I'm playing. But this is most likely all the edits I'm gonna be playing. So it's nice to have them all right there, and it's not 5,000 files, it's just what I need. And this folder changes consistently. I'm always adding stuff and taking stuff out. So if a song has been working for the last couple of weeks, it'll go out. If I download a song I know I wanna play, it'll go right into this folder. So this changes on a week-to-week basis. All right, heading down one more folder, transitions. These are all the files if I want to make a smooth transition across large BPM gaps. There's actually quite a lot in this folder at the moment. I got to cut this down, but these are all my transitions, so I can easily sort this by BPM and just look where I want to go. If I'm 66 and want to jump to 88, or 70 and want to go to 95, I mean, they're all right there. All right, the next folder down is my end night folder. And every time I play at a venue, I like to talk to the owner or whoever booked me and find out exactly when music has to be off. So about 10 minutes before that time, I can switch over to this folder, and play like 3 or 4 of these. This is essentially just, fun, sexy, whatever it is. It's just files to end the night on a good note and stuff I normally wouldn't play in prime time. So it's just a great folder that I switch over to about 10 minutes before the club is gonna be over. So it's like kind of lights on music stuff. On to the next folder, minis. I usually create about 4 to 5 mini sets per week. They're about a couple minutes long each. I do them with very familiar music. There are scratch routines, acapella routines, cue point routines, or a combo of all 3 of those. I can pepper these throughout my set during the night, but they're really good at creating that highlight moment. Say a music director comes in, some DJs come to see you, and you want that wow factor. Run one of these mini sets and then go back to programming your set the way you were in the first place. I can't recommend these enough. It just adds that little extra element of skill to your set that'll help you stand out. The next folder down is my extra tracks. So this is if I remove something from my 65 to 115 edits, and I don't necessarily want to take it completely out of these folders because I really won't see it then, I'll move it to this extra tracks folder. So these are just extra tracks that worked in the past or maybe didn't work so great, but I don't want to completely take them out of rotation, but I just have them here as kind of secondary files if I go longer or if I just don't find something that I want to play in the 65 to 115. So that's what those are. And my final folder is the try or add folder. And what this is every week when I download music, this is stuff that I don't know if I'm going to do that, or I might want to try that, but I have to have the right moment, or maybe not this gig, maybe a different gig. I put it in this folder, and let's say I'm playing a show and I got the crowd, they're in a great place and I want to try something new. I'll come here and be like, oh yeah, let me try that, sexy back remix or whatever. And I'll give it a shot. If I like it, it'll go into one of my main folders, the commercial house or 65 to 115 edits, or I'll just take it out completely. All right, so that's pretty much how I organize my music on a week-to-week basis for my travel gigs. I'm gonna head on out to Glacier National Park, then I'm gonna head on over to Casey's Whitefish to play my gig tonight. See you there. Just finished up my set. It's like 20 degrees out here, but if you're ever up in Whitefish, make sure to check out Casey's. They're always bringing in top-notch talent. Now I'm gonna head back to Los Angeles and head over to DJcity to talk to them about what they look for when they're taking edits and bootlegs and remixes for the site. Let's go. So today we're here with the music director of DJcity Beat Source. Go by Kid Spin.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey man, I appreciate you being here today.
All good, man. Thank you for hitting me up.
So I wanted to talk to you because I get hit up all the time by upcoming producers, remixers, editors, just about how they can get their music put on with a record player. What would you say the best way would be for someone that's up and coming to kind of like get music in front of you?
Well, if you don't know somebody that works in the pool itself, the best way to do it is just hit us up through the contact us page. We get emails all the time and they'll go to whatever department it needs to go to. So for us, if you're submitting music, it'll come to the music team. Generally, I get the email itself and I'll review and check it all out. One key thing that I got to mention is instead of sending a folder with 25 tracks, send your best 2, 3, 4 tops. That way it's streamlined. It's a streamlined thing. We're not going to download half a gig of zip file or whatever and check out a folder. Like, it's just really time consuming. So send us your best 2 or 3.
Now that I got, a way to get music in front of you, any advice or tips on, what to send to kind of get noticed by you?
Remixes tend to do really well, like full on, like a complete remix production. Creative edits, like wordplay kind of transitions, tone play, hype edits tend to do really well. Just because you can't use enough hype edits in the club.
Exactly.
You can't get people to put their hands up enough.
There you go.
Just creative stuff. Realistically, it's just creative stuff.
Okay.
Make something 2020, like, whatever style of music is working in your region or your area. I mean, say like dance hall is doing really well, reggaeton kind of beats or whatever, like remakes with the dembo, the dance hall kind of drum rhythms. That tends to do super well.
So a lot of the record pools have some kind of trend section or like a hot box, like you guys have, that kind of highlights the best tracks or what's doing the best for you guys. And I guess, is there any like special way on how tracks get into that? How does that work?
So with the DJcity charts, anything that has an actual number next to it, like the hot box, for example, or the DJcity, the top downloads in Latin America, UK, Germany, Japan, those are all algorithmically determined. So it's all based on downloads. We don't handpick any of those. We don't have the functionality to like make number 15 turn to track number 1 the next day. So it's all user based.
Is the trends, is that curated by DJs?
Trends are, yes. So yeah, so Eddie Boy helps with that, and we have a team of DJs all around the world that submit info for that. He compiles it, puts them all together. Whatever gets mentioned the most will go into those specific categories.
Yeah, because I know you guys split it up into like regions and
I want to say there's nine regions exactly. Something like that.
With DJcity, you guys have put on a whole bunch of DJs through the years. Out of the people that you've put on, have you seen like growth in their career once they like become affiliated with the record pool and working exclusively with the record pool? Have you seen any kind of career growth from that path?
Definitely. Apart from getting support from the big names of DJs that use DJcity, there's also remixers that have gone on to become full-on like producers. Sure. Like James Hype, for example, in the UK, his managers picked him up on DJcity, like checked out his work. They said, this guy's dope, and now he's got platinum records in the UK.
Yeah, no, I always encourage everyone that talks to me, like, if you can, submit, get your music out there. And it's always good to just have as many years as possible on it. And record pool's a great way to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, we've gotten officials picked up, like official remixes picked up from DJcity.
So they'll submit them to you as like an unofficial.
Exactly.
And it'll become an official.
Because the Diplo, for example, will check out the site and say, hey, like I want this one to get picked up for this Major Lazer project, or for, Anthem Kings that happened with them for, I believe, Cold Water.
Oh, that's
too.
Dope.
So I mean, so it happens.
So you produce as well.
I do.
I play a whole bunch of remixes. I love the stuff that you're doing.
Right on. Thank you.
I mean, I guess any advice on your end that you want to like put out there for people, getting into production or producing for record pools or anything?
Learn a little bit of music theory if you don't have that foundation. Definitely learn about mixing itself. Not so much, mastering is important as well, but mixing is definitely key. You don't want to have a super loud a cappella over this low instrumental, for example. Yeah. You want to kind of have everything balanced out.
And I love that you brought up music theory, because I stress that so much. When I came over from all hardware and kind of went into the software world, I made a point. I went on some website, I think it was in Scotland, and I just took all these music theory courses just about hearing keys and what goes together. Yeah. And it was a humongous help. A lot of kids will submit their stuff directly to me, like, hey, what do you think of this? Put it on. And one of the number one things I hear a lot of times is just key clashing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that if you don't kind of train your ear and do some of that music theory, you can't hear it.
Yeah.
And like, to me, it'll be like right there screaming like, this is completely out of key. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's out of key.
Right. And it translates on the dance floor too. A lot of people think like, oh, like I don't really hear it, so the people aren't going to notice it. People will notice it. You can definitely see people like on the dance floor. Something, not just like the train wreck effect. Like if you're doing like a bad mix, people will turn and look. If something sounds super out of key, like there's people that play instruments in the club, there's people that know music theory stuff, so they'll turn and look, and you'll stop them dead in their tracks if it's that bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like they don't know how to describe what's going on, but they know something is wrong.
Exactly, yeah, so you don't even have to be a trained musician. Like you hear it and just like, oh, that doesn't, you get that like, ugh.
There's something's a little going on. So that's great advice.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Go take an online course. I know it can be a little boring and dry going through music theory, but it's massive, and it'll save you a ton of time, and your stuff will get exponentially better for doing it.
Definitely. For sure.
So that's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you sitting down and talking with us. I mean, I learned something today. Hopefully you guys learned something today as well. The takeaway would be consistently make stuff, put it down and just try to get it out there, and what's the worst that can happen? And this is the guy you need to get your music to, so remember his name, it's Kid Spin. I want to send a huge shout out to Kid Spin, DJcity, and Beat Source, as well as everybody up at Casey's Whitefish in Montana. Till next time, thanks for watching.
Just finished up my set. It's like 20 degrees out here.